All right, in this video, I'm setting out to do the impossible. I'm going to try to make an interesting video about math, particularly about converting from one unit to the other. So here we go, let's get this on the road. The question is, how many milliliters are there in 4 gallons of water or milk, whatever? 4 gallons, how many milliliters? So the first step in solving a math problem is to record what is given. So we have 4 gallons. 4 gallons is what we have given. The second step is to find a relevant equation that answers the question. Well, the question was, how many milliliters? And so, I'm gonna do the question mark, milliliters. We don't really know how many milliliters we have, but that's what we're trying to find out. We got to go from gallons to milliliters, and based on what we have given here, is there a formula that says gallons? There probably is, but we're going to use a method instead of a formula. We're going to use a mathematical method instead of a formula, but we're going to need a few more pieces of information, and we can extract these pieces of information from things that are known about the universe that are universally accepted as true. In this case, we're going to say that this goes back to like in the 70s. My mom, I can remember definitively this point somewhere. My mom and I were talking about the metric system, and she was like, why I've already memorized the English system. I was like, you've memorized the English system? And then this is what I remember distinctly from 100,000 years ago. She said, yeah, like there are 4 quarts in a gallon and there's 32 ounces in a quart. Well, those are universal truths, so I'm going to write that down. There are 4 quarts equals 1 gallon, and 32 ounces equals 1 quart. Now, if we only knew some way of going from ounces to milliliters, well, fortunately, my contact lens bottle is labeled, and it tells me that 12 ounces is equal to 360 milliliters. Now with these 3 facts, we can use the method to convert gallons to milliliters. Here's how it goes. All right, mathematical equations are an expression of a relative truth, so we have to write down a mathematical sentence that says something that's true. Now, I'm going to write this down, and some of you are going to roll your eyes and go, my gosh, that's stupid. 4 gallons equals 4 gallons. Now, if you're confused by this step, if this doesn't make sense to you, just click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and move on. Because I don't know how to make it. I mean, this is just like saying A is equal to A. It's just a thing. This is equal to itself. And now, am I being a little sarcastic? Yeah. Sorry. If I offended you just now, if you are confused by this step and I just offended you, I apologize. But this is just, it's an identity. It is, something is equal to itself. Another mathematical truth is, if you take something and divide it by itself, that's equal to 1. So if I say A equals B, then A divided by B equals 1. That's like saying A equals 4 and B equals 4. So A divided by B equals 4 divided by 4. So if this is true, then obviously A divided by B is 1, because 1 equals 4 divided by 4. So with this in mind, another mathematical concept says I can multiply anything by 1 and not change anything. So that's what we're going to do. That's the method we're going to use to convert gallons to milliliters, is we're going to multiply by 1. So we're going to multiply by 1. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to put 1 times 4 gallons equals 4 gallons. And I'm going to find up here something that's equal to itself. So I'm going to go up here, I'm going to find an A equals B and put it in as a fraction, and so I can start converting. Well, gallons and quarts, so I got gallons and quarts. Now I want to end up with quarts instead of gallons, so I'm going to put quarts on the top. Multiplying by 4 quarts over 1 gallon. The gallons cancel. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 gallons equals 4 times 4 is 16. Gallons cancel. Quarts comes down. I keep making G's. Quart comes down. 4 gallons equals 16 quarts. Now I'm going to multiply by 1 again. 1 times 4 gallons equals, I'm going to use brackets as our indication for multiplying because it's kind of getting long, 16 quarts. I would like to get ounces. I'm going to multiply by 1. I'm going to use this identity here. So I'm going to put ounces on the top. 32 ounces divided by 1 quart. 16 times 32, whoa, calculator. 16 times 32 equals 512. And quarts cancels. 512 ounces equals 4 gallons. Now I'm going to go from ounces to milliliters. Ounces to milliliters. Okay? So I'm going to multiply by 1 again. 1 times 4 gallons equals 512 ounces times, I'm going to multiply by 1 since this is equal. This divided by this is 1. So multiplying by 1, I want it to end up in milliliters, so I put milliliters on top. 360 milliliters divided by 12 ounces. The ounces will cancel. That's going to give me 512 times 360 divided by 12. 4 gallons equals 512 times 360 divided by 12. 15,360. 15360 milliliters. Now, some of you Googled convert 4 gallons to milliliters and you probably got a different number. Because why? Because on my contact lens bottle, they put 12 equals 360. And that's more of a marketing declaration than it is a scientific declaration. They didn't put any fractions in. They didn't put in the decimal places. So this is kind of rounded off. So when you multiply, round it off by all these things, you get a slightly different answer. But this is the method. We go through, we take the identity, something is equal to itself, multiply it by 1, multiply it by something that equals 1, gets a new identity. 4 gallons equals 16 quarts. Multiply this by 1, multiply it by something else that equals 1. This divided by this is equal to 1, so that gives us 512, and that's the method that we use. You will see this written another way. It's a little bit longer on the page, but it's a lot fewer steps. You would say 4 gallons equals 4 gallons times, so let's put the brackets in for multiplying. I'm going to multiply it by 1. And the first thing I'm going to do is 4 quarts divided by 1 gallon. And then I want to get rid of the quarts, so I'm going to put quarts on the bottom. put the multiplication symbol in, put the fraction, and we have said that 1 quart is 32 ounces. Now I want to get rid of ounces, so I'm going to put ounces on the bottom, and I'm going to put milliliters on the top. And that ounces was 12, and that milliliters was 360. So I'm going to do 4 times 4 times 32 times 360 divided by 1, divided by 1, divided by 1, divided by 12. Guess what? We get the same answer. Because math. Open parenthesis. 4 times 32 times 360. Close parenthesis, divided by 12 equals 1536. 4 gallons equals 15,360. Let's do our canceling. Gallons cancel with gallons, quarts cancels with quarts, ounces cancel with ounces, leaves us with milliliters. A lot of times you will see it written out in a single line where you took this equals itself times 1 times 1 times 1, where these are the identities. All right, there you have this mathematical method. What is given, what is the question, and what do we know from universal truths? An equation, and then we follow the mathematical steps. We keep all of our equal signs, we write out complete mathematical expressions, and we find that 4 gallons is 15,360 milliliters. Or we can do it straight across in one line. Either way, we're going to get the same 15,360 milliliters. That is all I got. I dropped that one. I'm going to try this one. I got a lot of clutter around here. It's hard to kind of flip the pen. I got to get out of here. You guys have watched way too long. Thank you for watching. The World Around Us playlist is full of science videos and math videos. And then I've got other playlists as well, so check it out if you want to. Conversions. There we go. Conversions. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.